Hi, my name is Drew Tipton, and I am a technical evangelist for InfoScale here at Veritas Technologies. What I'm going to be discussing today is a new feature of our InfoScale 8.0 product, which is integration with Kubernetes, and most notably with Red Hat's OpenShift Kubernetes platform. Now, if you're not familiar with InfoScale, InfoScale is our industry-leading storage and availability management platform. And what we do is we provide several features, including our dynamic multipathing, our cluster file system, our cluster volume manager, and our IO fencing platform. And what we've done in this case is we've actually taken this and containerized it for deployment in a Kubernetes environment. And we've also written a Veritas distinct CSI plugin to allow different Kubernetes instances and deployments to actively go through and utilize our containerized InfoScale to provide storage and availability management. Now, the biggest feature that we want to talk about today is FSS, or flexible storage sharing. What that does is that allows you to take advantage of the local storage on your local worker nodes, as well as storage that may be in your SAN environment attached to these nodes. We can create a single disk group that consists entirely of that local storage or that SAN storage or some combination, allowing you to have a single pane of glass view of all of that storage that's available for these worker nodes. And we generally provide better performance than a SAN at a reduced cost because you don't necessarily have to have that SAN infrastructure. We also provide better performance and reliability than NFS connections for this environment. Now, one of the other features that we need to talk about as well is our integrated IO fencing. So what IO fencing does is it actually protects your data against the loss of a worker node or the failure of an application pod. In case one of those incidents occurs, we will go through and fence that application pod or fence that worker node out of having access to the data, preventing corruption, preventing that node or that pod from deleting that data until such time as they're restored to full service. The node is repaired and rebooted, the application pod is updated and restarted, things such as that. So you'll make sure that you're not having data loss or data failure because of an application failure or because of a node failure. Now, in OpenShift in particular, we go through, you'll notice that there's containerized InfoScale there, and our CSI plugin isn't shown on this, but it's still there. But we also have that fencing controller that goes through and manages the fencing for all of these nodes. We also have an InfoScale operator, and that's going to tie in with the library, the Red Hat OpenShift library, to make sure that you're running the most up-to-date version of InfoScale, much like Kubernetes goes through and allows you to update Kubernetes itself or your applications on the fly. And we also have a licensing pod sitting in there to manage the licenses for InfoScale software. Now, one of the pieces we're going to gloss over real quickly here is we have a DR controller there. And what the DR controller does is, in this particular release, it is just a tech preview. But what that allows you to do is that allows you to use our Veritas Volume Replicator product to replicate not only the storage for the persistent volume storage for your applications, but it also allows you to replicate your node and your application metadata from your Kubernetes cluster across to a DR cluster in another site. And like I said, I'm going to produce another video a little bit later on how that works and what you would use that for. And the last thing I want to cover right now is our inclusion in the Red Hat OpenShift catalog. If you're interested in deploying InfoScale into your Kubernetes cluster, into your OpenShift cluster, all you have to do is go find us in the cloud catalog. It's a one-click deploy and use. It goes through, it processes it all, and it deploys it just like any other Kubernetes-based application. Now, that's enough for me for today. My name is Drew Tipton. I'm an InfoScale technical evangelist here at Veritas, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.